Hey now.
I scored, man.
I wondered where you're going with that. This guy's legit. You should see him hit.
What's happening, people of the internet? I'm your host, Glasgow Comets outfielder Danny Quinn.
And I am your other host, Bash from Taper Breakers.
How you doing, Bash? How's it going, man? You been all right?
Not bad, mate. Yourself?
Good. I feel like we haven't spoken in ages, man, because it's been like 3-4 weeks since we caught up with Gabriel, man, innit? It's been a while.
We've been online for a while, mate. Yeah, we've not been online for a while, but that's all good. We're back now.
Yeah, that was a cool wee chat with Gabriel, man. It was cool to be able to get an insight into sort of minor league and that, man. When did it just the Scottish accent just blew my mind, man. Well, I think I said that in the last one.
Fantastic. The accent blew me away. It's brilliant. That first line, like, who's this guy?
Aye. No, good guy, man. And check it out if you haven't checked it out already, man. That should be on our page if you just scroll down. But we're here today to really preview the Caledonia Classic Final. So I think we were hoping to get a recap of the season last week, but I was working away in Liverpool for my sins, and you were stricken down, Bash. I've never seen anything like it, man. That was man flu at its finest. You were dying. Like.
A Michael Jordan flu game was right there, right? Yeah.
You feeling better, man?
Aye, fine. All good to go. Good to go, mate.
Cool.
Worse and sexy than normal, but all good.
I think what we'll do is we'll start with we'll maybe just kick right into it and talk a wee bit about a recap from the games of the weekend. So we had 2 games with yourselves at Glasgow Galaxy and we had ourselves at Edinburgh Cannons. Well, I guess I'll start by asking you, like, what was the score? You can announce what the score was then.
4-1 to ourselves, right behind Avon pitching. He had 15 strikeouts in 7 innings, which is pretty good going, eh?
He had 3 walks and something like 2 hits and all, didn't he? It was just...
and he Elvis actually stole it off me as well. Lined right down third base side, and Elvis just put a glove out and got it. That would have gone for extra bases, but the guy's a monster. I would say it's probably one of our best games we've played as a team all season. I think we were composed. We knew what we were doing. We weren't going to get ourselves upset if we made a silly little play in the outfield or infield. I said to the guys, we all chatted before, but I said to the guys before it, 1 at bat at a time, 1 play at a time. Don't worry about anything else. Just focus on 1 play at a time and we'll get through it and see what happens. But yeah, I think probably one of our better team games of the season, I think, definitely.
Sometimes when you've got you think a score like that, 4-1, it can turn at any minute. Sometimes because there's not a lot of runs, like a 3-run lead feels like a 7 or 8-run lead. Did it feel like a close game constantly throughout?
It was close, yeah, it was. And they had guys on base. So we had the bases on a couple of times. We had, I think, 2 or 3 runners on at one point. And our outfield was all singly guys.
Really? Nice.
Yeah.
One.
We were a bit short of numbers. I had to move some things around. David had to work a catcher. So Shin Yang came at the catch. But yeah, like fantastic effort from them guys especially. So a big shout out to our outfield. The single guys that stepped up did really well. Yeah,
massive shout out, man. And 15 strikeouts, 3 walks. That's a tremendous asset, isn't it? When you think about it, because you lose Ryan, don't you, this year?
Yeah.
You lost Ryan. So you're pinching it all in Shinye, and then you get somebody just, hitting fly balls 4 miles over left field and pitching 15 strikeout games, man. It must be a pretty good feeling to have, man, to know you've got Eve there.
And you know what? He's a big help to the guys too. Well, we had practice tonight, and me and him just stood at second base for a bit, just chatting shit for a while. But it's a lot of things like our guy James Rennie, who plays in the development league. He started centre field, but even watching him at practice, like he's seen the things that Avon's telling him to do, and then he's telling other guys what to do, and it's great. Taking control in the outfield last week at practice. That's just magic to see. It's brilliant, and that's all down to Avon, passing on his wisdom. We all do that, but he's a big help to us all. He really is.
Yeah, it's interesting. This is going to go off on a tangent, man. Like, but I've been reading a book recently called The Yankee Way. Obviously,
Oh, thank
um,
you. Remind ever.
who'd have thought? Who'd have thought? But they
Oh.
were talking. It's about the increase in sabermetrics, right? And sculpting a team around sabermetrics, but it's about all the intangibles in between that. So they're talking about, like Jeter's intangibles of directing his infield where they should be. That's not picked up in sabermetrics. How you communicate. Your centre fielder lining up your outfielders or communicating with them. So all these really good, centre fielders, shortstops, third base, really good to operate in isolation. But when you put them in a team, they don't sort of gel, and it's because of those sort of intangibles that you can't sort of measure, man. So it's so important, like communication on a baseball field, isn't it? It's just continuously telling people where you are, where you need to be, because everybody needs to work in unity, man. You should always be moving with every play in order to be effective. So
Yeah, I obviously play infield with Marina mostly, and we're always like, right, I've got the bag on the steel, you've got the bag on the steel, whatever happens. Always, you have to be, because you don't know what's anything can happen next play. Right?
yeah.
So every single at bat, you're talking to somebody about something. Always. Yeah. Me and Tom, right? Where'd that guy go last time? Did he come down this side? Did he go the other side? What did he do? Oh, he got a walk, or he got a little flare down this side. Like, we're always talking where we're going to position ourselves and what we're going to do.
Yeah, absolutely. No, congratulations, third year in a row, man. Like, how's that feel? 3 years in a row getting to the dance, man. You can't ask for much better than that.
Like, obviously, it'll be a very, very hard game. Like, we all know the Cannons are a great team. But before that, we should talk about your game as well, mate.
Yeah, so we visited Edinburgh Cannons. Cannons ended up taking that 14-7. So we've been in a position where all our games against the Cannons have been really, really close all year. Yeah, and just that one, it started off close, but the Cannons are just relentless, man. They're just, first of all, they're a class act, man. I like the guys. They are hard competitors. They just hit any type of pitching, hit in all situations, hit to all fields, man.
Oh, we've lost you, Dan. Are you frozen?
They're just a very, very difficult opponent. And have I frozen?
No, you're all right.
Have I frozen?
You're back. You're okay.
No, I was going to say, we went 14-7. It went to the Cannons. A very, very difficult opponent, man. And they're relentless with the bats. They're relentless with fielding. They're relentless on the bases. They do everything really, really well, man. And there was a point, you kind of need all your calls to go for you in your favour. And there was a point in the game, the very first inning we were hitting, and it was myself. I'd got to third base of all places, and with one out, and the ball gets hit into left field, shallow medium left field, and Freddie's in left, and I decide that I'm going to tag up. So I tag up and I put the first run on the board, but Jon Hosev was behind the plate, said I didn't tag up in time. So I had this discussion, quite a heated discussion, with him afterwards, and he said, I'm telling you, you're wrong, you didn't tag up in time. I said, Hosev, I am telling you categorically, you shot the bed in this one. I know the rules, and I tagged up in time. And he said to me, go and look at the footage. And I said, Hosev, I'd need to be a pretty petty man to go home to immediately download that footage to then meticulously cut out the fragment of the game time where that happened, to show you, in fact, that I tagged up in time. That would need to be incredibly petty to do that in a game that we lost by 7 runs, and it doesn't really matter. So I'm not going to do that. I'll take his word for it. It wouldn't be.
The podcast, the umpire makes a call. He makes a call. That's it. That's all we do. Nothing else.
That's all we do, man. We don't argue. We trust the call, man. I have earned myself about 40 strikeouts next year, man.
Joseph, I love you, mate. If you're watching this, I love you. I'm a big fan of you, okay? So,
just be honest.
Nothing to do with me. It's all Danny's doing here.
See, to be honest, Hosev is probably, I will put my hat on it and say he's the best umpire in the league, man. And it's really difficult to make those calls in a fragment of a second when you need to line yourself up to look at third base and left field. So there's absolutely no malice behind it. These kind of things happen. I really respect Joseph, and it's just poking a wee bit of fun at myself more than anything. But
we're all umpires this week, yeah.
You know what?
If it wasn't for them, we would not play on a Sunday, so we'll have to,
you know what? You can't expect we go up, and if I have a really good season, I'll get 3 out of 10 hits. I'll hit for 300, 350, whatever, man. It'll be a really good season, and you can't expect umpires to be absolutely perfect with every single call, every single time, and a lot of them just playing for travel expenses. So, there's these things happen, man, and at the end of the day, the run doesn't matter all that much because the Cannons.
It mattered to you.
It mattered to me, Bash, man. Like, I'm an incredibly petty man, so absolutely mattered to me, man. So,
we wouldn't go as far as to show this information on the podcast. We wouldn't do that. So
I wouldn't utilise my privilege to bring down another man of such stature. That would be ill-advised, and that would just be completely petty. So absolutely not. So the fact of the matter is, it's you guys against Edinburgh, 2 p.m. on Sunday, man. A rematch of 2023. Well, a rematch of a rematch, because the rematch was last year. Yep. So this seems to be a common occurrence, man. How you feeling about it, man?
Good. The third instalment. I think it's safe to say we're definitely underdogs. I know we've won the last two, but I don't think you can ever say that Edinburgh can be underdogs. They're stacked all over the place. Like we said, they're a great team. In every single category, they're a great team. So we'll have to be on our A game. We'll have to hope some things go for us. But no, I feel good. Looking forward to it. I mean, that's why we'll play at the end of the season. We want to be in the final at the end of the season. So I can't wait. Looking forward to it. Hopefully the weather's nice. Get a good wee crowd. And we'll see what happens. As long as we play hard, and that's all you can do. We'll play hard and we'll see what happens at the end of the game.
I'll be honest with you, Bash, man. I sat 2 years ago and I went, our Cannons have got it in the bag. And you bet them. And then last year I was like, they're undefeated the whole season. The Cannons will do it again. And you bet them. And, you play a whole season, but it comes down to those 7 innings. It's such a fine margin to lay your season on. It really is MD's game, isn't it? Like,
it's
if he even goes out and does what he done last week for you, he's doing you a huge favour, and Cannons
I would take 14 strikeouts and maybe like 10 home runs off even on Sunday. That would be enough.
Might there.
Yeah, so
I think a few of the Glasgow people I want to roll through for it. I won't be able to get there, but hopefully I might see some familiar faces for the sidelines, man. So that will be good to see. It's going to air, I think, on BS UK. I think the game's streamed on BS UK. I think so. For the guys that can't see it, log into the BS UK website. You'll be able to stream it for free come 2 o'clock. And I'm sure Baseball Scotland will share that about as well.
Yeah,
so
I'll do the same. We'll share it as well in here if people want to see it. The information.
Yeah. Cool. Anything to pick up on MLB?
Well, you know me. I'm a big Blue Jay fan, so I don't know what MLB is anymore. I don't watch it. It's nonsense.
Nah.
Just in this house anymore. I'm actually watching the game, guys. I've got on right now. We're getting beat 3-2, so yeah, pish.
Yous recently bet the Twins 15-0, just a random 15-0 hammering out of nowhere after a season of complete abysmal shiteness for the Blue Jays. Just decided we're going to play like the 27 Yankees a day. Like,
Danny, I would say abysmal shiteness is actually that's a bit too lenient for the way we've played this year. It's been horrific.
Yeah.
It's just madness, mate. No. What about yourself? You've been watching a bit.
Yeah, I've been keeping an eye on it, man. Like, Judge's weirdly in the home run chase for Sale, where he's even towards over 50 home runs now. A real chance at getting to 60, maybe even more. I've got personal stakes in our catcher Austin Wells hitting 15 or more home runs this season because he was kind of underdog. And he came up last season. I thought he's going to hit 15 home runs. So I've got personal stakes on that. He's sitting at something like 12 now. So I'm hoping he does it. I just said to Jenna, I'm like, Friday night, there is a game on at 7 o'clock. Saturday night, there's a game on at 7 o'clock. And Sunday night, there's a game on at 7 o'clock. So I might very well wake up on Monday a divorced man, waiting to see what happens with bringing that much baseball into the house. We'll wait and see, man.
More important, Danny, your baseball or marriage?
It's baseball, isn't it, mate?
Exactly. Good man. That's the attitude we want to hear.
All day, every day. I was actually recently watching the Mets of all, and this is going to be good because our our next guest is a huge Mets fan, and I was watching an interview with the manager, Carlos Mendoza, and he was just talking about the pitching depth in the Mets have got. So I'm wondering if you want me to throw it up, Bash, and show the people the Carlos Mendoza interview that we've got sitting here.
Yep, sounds good.
Cool, let's go for it.
Carlos, what'd you see out of Severino tonight?
Fucking dynamite, big man. You know, if you go through a game, you limit the hit by pitches to 3, then you're doing yourself a favour. He had a fastball sitting at 68 mile per hour, you know. Hitters in this league, they just can't, they're not ready for that type of gas. It's farting, you miss it type of shit right there. Get a wee bit worried in the middle innings because he's getting up a lot of fly balls, and you don't want to be getting fly balls up against the Comets. You know, they already moved the fence in left field when they've got some good hitters in the lineup. And I think it's fucking sleek it, like, but that's what they do. What can you do, man? So, we managed to work around it. It was absolutely
When you look at this run that you guys have gone on to get right back there on the brink of a playoff spot, how much do you credit not just the way the starting staff has pitched in terms of quality, but the quantity too, the length that they've been giving you as of late?
Look, anytime you can get a pitcher to go out there and give you 80 pitches over 2.2 innings, you know you're on to a fucking winner, don't you? That's a workhorse right there. I know a lot of teams are spraffing shite about performance-enhancing drugs, and I said it once, I'll say it again, and I'll fucking say it till I'm blue in the face. 6 litres of Frosty Jack cider the night before a game is not a performance-enhancing drug. You know, we're the New York Mets, after all. We're a single A team. And in the single A division, pitching is at an absolute premium. Good pitching. You ever seen MD try to pitch to Fraser McLean, yon frazzle dazzle, down Toll Cross on a Sunday? It's like seeing somebody try to throw a golf ball through a letterbox for 60 feet away. We were against Roy. I thought he was going to have a fucking aneurysm by the end of it. So, he's got a nice voice, him, as I said once, and I'll say again, man.
He really does, yeah.
Melodic, and I'm sure...
Too much.
I'm sure our next guest is really going to appreciate that interview because he is a huge Mets fan, but apart from that, he's an alright person. I'm going to bring him in, Bash, so if you can, welcome Comet single A captain, Phee. How you doing, Phee?
All right, how's it going? I'm listening, I'm in the stitches here. I didn't realise that I live so close to Carlos Mendoza to hear that real strong Coatbridge accent come out on him there.
It's wild, Phee. I've just realised I'm being very disrespectful here. You're a huge Mets fan and I've got Yankees gear on. So if you just give me 2 wee seconds, I'm just going to take this. Oh, fuck. Jesus, right. I'm going to, throughout your interview, I'm probably going to try and take these layers off. But I'm just warning you, I might have 7 or 8 Yankees tops on under this. I don't know. I might have. But don't be distracted.
Guys,
just
see your hat. It says champions on it. Should that not been like a museum? Because it's been that long since you last won a championship.
And that's good coming from a Mets fan. I wasn't even alive the last time the Mets won a championship. So
I don't think that's the team up.
Phee, let's before this ends in a divorce, mate, between us, and we can't get over it. How you doing, man? I'm going to start by good. I'm going to start by asking you just to describe your sort of journey into baseball. We're always interested in how people, you know, in their adult years come across such an obscure sport in Scotland and then find the courage or the confidence to reach out and try the sport. So tell us a wee bit about where the interest stemmed from and when you ultimately ended up in Toll Cross.
I mean, I'm 35, so I came to baseball quite late on in kind of life as such. But growing up where I stayed, somebody walked about with a baseball bat. It was for obviously a different reason. But growing up, also I watched like The Sandlot and Rookie of the Year and stuff like that, and I knew what baseball was, and I didn't think it was something that was ever played in Scotland. And then I kind of fell away from it. I tried to watch it as it kind of came on to Channel 4, Channel 5. Never really took to it. And then I went over to New York back in 2019, and I've got family who live in Boston, and they said, "Oh, we'll come down and we'll do something with you." And I'm like, "Oh, I'd love to go to a sporting event." And the first words out of my mouth were, "We're not going to Yankee Stadium." It was kind of how it went. So the Mets were the only other team that were playing that when we were there. So I went and saw the Mets with the Cubs, and that was during Pete Alonso's rookie season, and I sort of got to see him hit a home run at Citi Field and stuff like that. So it kind of it really got me going from there to kind of really look into it, because I followed like the ice hockey and stuff like that here in Scotland, and then next thing I was like, was there a baseball team in Scotland? So looked up and I saw players wanted all levels. Came along kind of tail end of 2019, and it was the Galaxy I only ever really knew of at that point, because it was only ever really them were playing on the Sunday when I showed up. So went along a couple of games, and it was Luke Powell and Jim Sear that came and spoke to me and said, "Oh, if you fancy it, come along." And then came along for a couple of sessions. Then 2020 happened, and then obviously COVID caused the entire season to obviously go by the wayside. And then, but I mean, not to kind of go into kind of lower part of my life here, but obviously 2020 was a massive life-changing event for myself, losing my wee girl at 3 months old. And so like come back to like 2021, I kind of came back to baseball, and they kind of allowed me to kind of maybe put my focus into somewhere and meet a new group of people who didn't know me as such. And then coming along and getting to speak to like yourself, Danny, and Gordon McCarnan and Andy Vaughan and stuff like that, I got to know what Comets was. And then before I knew it, I was kind of signed up to the Comets sort of thing. That's kind of where it's at just now.
So obviously we'll get into sort of captaincy.
Sorry, I rambled on there for about 5 minutes solid, sorry.
No, you're all right, Phee, man. That's what we like, to get a wee bit of an insight, man. It's just about giving people a wee bit of an insight. And like obviously you became captain, and we'll get into you becoming captain of the Comets and stuff like that. But you're a big voice in the Comets, one of the faces, one of the core, I would say, in the single A. So almost like Mr. Comet. So obviously you would have turned up in Glasgow, saw the Comets, you would have said, I myself feel like a Comet and I want to be a Comet. That would have been the way it went, wouldn't it? When you turned up in Glasgow, you always wanted to be a Comet, never looked at any other team.
No, listen, as I said, I didn't know that the Comets existed, but you were the first guys to kind of really pull me right under the wing, and that was me. I was sold on the Comets, and I wanted to be a Comet. I'm not going to lie, so. Listen, the reason I'm a Comet is down to folk like you, Gordy, and Andy Vaughan.
Yeah, no, good. I'm trying to fish you there to say that you were looking at Galaxy and flirting with them first, but you're not biting me.
Listen, I'll be honest. When I first came along, I was like, I want to be the Galaxy. I want to play in this team. This is the best thing since sliced bread. I want to play baseball. And as I said, when I came along and I saw the Comets, and I must admit, I prefer the light blue than the dark blue.
So you saw. Sorry, Phee. You saw Pete Alonso hit a home run. Were you sort of immediately attracted to that idea of first base? Because when you came into the Comets, if I remember, that was something that you kind of moved into, but you didn't always play. You sort of looked at third, and you looked at different positions first. Was first base always in your sight line?
I think, see, because like I didn't really know. I'll be honest, I didn't really know much about baseball until 2019, and kind of because we were going to see the Mets, I kind of started taking a kind of keen interest in them. Dan, I feel like you're a Russian doll here, that you're just going to get smaller as this interview goes on.
I'll shrink down to Danny's size soon, mate. I'm feeling a bit like muscly here, man, with all these layers.
What he is, he's talking, and all of a sudden, Danny got a different top on already. What's going on here?
Costume change.
He's no Piney Sheeting Bill, so he's wearing layers up there, that's how.
Coatbridge doesn't have heating, mate. We've got a fire going at the back.
It'll be warm.
Aye, I burn them all, mate.
Sorry, I went off on that. Basically, it's just I went along, and obviously Peter Alonso was kind of the guy that was on fire at the time, and obviously he was the person that was the face of the organisation at that point. And I started watching what he'd done, and I thought, I actually quite fancy this, to be fair. And they said, Danny, I started off in the Comets, and I played third base, and I was like, I like it, but I was looking at John McKellar playing first, and I was like, I want to play that position. And then, unfortunately, John's obviously been struggles with injuries and stuff like that. So I saw an opportunity when he couldn't make it for a few weeks, and started going in and playing at the training and trying to put myself forward for it. And then eventually getting extra sessions with yourself, Danny, and just to try and get really, really used to the position. And I love it. I think it's a very, very hard position. I think a lot of folk don't realise until they actually stand over there and they see some of the throws that catching the wind that come towards you at first base. They're either at your knees or 10 feet over your head, sort of thing.
Definitely. I think we are coming to the sport. It's good to see all the positions, but I think you do need to kind of focus on one and go there, because if you're trying to be, which is great, like I said, it's good to try everything, but you really need to get focused. Like you're seeing different balls from different positions all the time. Like balls to first and third are completely different. You know what I mean? I think you really need to do on that one position and find the one that's comfortable for you. And obviously first base is the one for you.
Yeah. Listen, I played third base in a scrimmage game a couple of weeks ago, and basically I was told you will never play third base ever again. So I was like, that's fine. I know I'm not a third baseman anymore. I know my craft now. I know my trade sits.
I think the difficulty with first base as well is, especially in our field, you've got dirt and Tayport, and you've got dirt in Glasgow. One of the things I noticed with the dirt in Glasgow, you expect the ball to bounce, right? Your head tells you the ball's going to bounce, but you'll know this feel like as soon as you throw a ball in the dirt in Glasgow, the ball hits the dirt and it just goes like that. It just rolls. It doesn't bounce at all. Yeah. So I think what you're referring, I remember one summer when you were learning the position, I came up to the field with you and I sat really close and I went, just look at it. And I was like throwing balls in the dirt and I was like, your instinct is to bring your glove up, but you really need to just block the ball first. And you're right, we sat up there, and, I threw for short, I threw for second and things like that. And that's all really useful, man. What were some of the trickier things you had to learn as a first baseman? What were some of the things that you had to kind of get your head around?
Well, I always kind of say, now that I've kind of got a better understanding of it, that I remember Jason Stott kind of speaking to me, and he's like, what about the ball first, and then get the base. So, and I've kind of kept that mantra, and obviously Martin Walker's played a couple of games at first and that this year, and I've said that to him, what about the ball, and then what about the base? Because I mean, if you stretch and you're nowhere near that ball's going out of play, and it's better getting somebody as a single than somebody getting a double at it, to be fair.
Exactly.
So I mean, and I think that's what I found. I always thought, I need to be planted to the base, I need to stretch, I need to be 10 foot tall and be able to go here, there and everywhere. But then realise, no, do you know what? Why not just take the 3 or 4 steps I need to and keep the ball?
Aye. You need to get that ball for
Yeah.
I'm seeing a comment from Nick on the comments saying, I can see Phee as Mr. Comet. Can we get him a massive paper mache baseball head to wear? Phee, I don't know if we'd have a helmet that could fit you if you put any paper mache on top of your head, man. Yeah, that'd be pretty difficult to do. But how do you feel about that Comet mascot?
Why not? Why not? Listen, I'm probably getting to that age now that I'll probably end up being on the sidelines more than actually on the field, to be fair. So it might actually be a serving purpose. But if Mike Keir's batting helmet is anything to go by, good luck to whoever's trying to make that helmet.
You've spoken a wee bit about your work in defence and how much time you put into defence. Would you describe yourself as defence first baseman, or do you take some pride in hitting, or what's the work you put behind hitting?
I think that, I don't know if it's, but growing up, I played a lot of football and I was more a kind of defensive player as such, so it was always kind of like, right, let's limit the amount of damage that can happen to us first and foremost. And I think that's maybe where my head goes when it goes to baseball as well, and allow your better players to do what they do. I mean, as I said, I've not batted the best this year or anything, or any year for that matter. But as I said, that, listen, I'll go up there and I'll swing it, and I know if I connect with it, it will go, sort of thing.
Yeah, you've described yourself to me before as a defence first baseman. Now, I want to say we've had El Presidente on here before saying that a ball was thrown to you in the stands at the London series and you dropped it. It was thrown directly at you. It was in your glove. You fucked it free, and Mookie had to pick up the ball. So do you want to defend yourself against those horrible allegations that have come for the top?
Listen, Mickey, I've already got my revenge on Mickey by getting a couple of hits off him post this incident. But to set the story straight from my side of things, the boy pointed at me and threw the ball. I'm the only guy in Danny, seriously, this is hilarious. The BP's happening, and the boy, Mets player points towards me, and I'm thinking, oh, I've got this. I mean, I see Phillies fans and stuff like that. And I thought, oh, I've got it. And then I've got my glove up. It's coming in, clean as a whistle. And then the next thing, I'm thinking I'm catching a ball, but I actually catch Mookie's hand in my glove.
Oh, there's interference on the play.
Yeah, there was interference in play, Bash. I think Mickey should really give him the ball. I think that's really what the umpire's decision would have been.
I don't think Paul Conway told us this part. He said it was a clean catch. He just dropped it.
I think I've got stats to maybe limit my errors.
Couldn't be
Yeah, definitely.
That's it. Phee, let's fast forward a bit then, or rewind for that, but fast forward into your time with the Comets. Halfway through last year, we decided that the Comets it would really benefit from a team captain. You were one of the first to put your name in for that, and I was keen to have it sort of consensus based of, you know, whoever people naturally see as a captain, so everyone voted on it, and it was quite overwhelming. The guys selected you to be the voice of the Comets on the field. So what kind of credence do you, or depth do you put behind that? What was the emotions going through, or, you know, when you learned that the guys kind of naturally saw you as captain of the Comets?
To be honest with you, I'm not a big guy for like saying that I'm good at things and stuff like that, but it was Andy Vaughan who actually got in touch with me and said that I'd be quite good at it, and then I said I don't know, and then next thing it was like, too late, I'm nominating you, and I'm like, right, I'm nominated now, so let's go and go for there, sort of thing, and like being selected for it was quite overwhelming, to be fair, because yeah, like outside of you, I'm the next guy that folk lean on in terms of situations, especially on the field and things like that, and I think sometimes and I probably fall foul of myself, that we all kind of shout over the top of each other on the field and at the sidelines and stuff like that, and maybe trying to argue with umpires and things like that. But I think now that I think I've got a decent relationship with all the umpires across the league. I don't know about yourself, Danny, but that's another story. I'll maybe try and have a wee word for you and try and help you out. But
Please do.
I've been able to kind of get the word out to all the umpires that if your issues are on the field, when the players come and see myself, and as I say to everybody, I would much rather that they fight with me than fight with the umpire, because at the end of the day, we want our best 9 on the field to see you at the 3, 5 innings, 7 innings, whatever it may be on the day.
It must be quite proud to be the captain, coming to the sport like relatively new as well. You know, to have more veteran players maybe who have maybe played a bit longer, but look to you as a captain.
I say, Bash, I came along. I didn't know. I was very unassuming as to what I was going to do when I came into the Comets and stuff. I just wanted to play baseball and try it out and see where it kind of went, and it's kind of snowballed from there, which I'm really thankful for. And I can't thank my teammates enough, because I mean, last year and this year they've made my job easy as such at times, because I've been able to go out and get the W's that we need and stuff like that, and grind out some results in some games.
So your first year as captaincy, the Comets go on to win not only their first ever single A league title, but they go on to win their first piece of Baseball Scotland silverware ever, man. Which huge achievement. Run me through that. What was sort of going on in your head, like being captain of that team and winning the first league title, bringing that to the Comets?
At that point, it was. Listen, we had a kind of season it's going to be a wee while until I think somebody else does that now, given the testament to the single A just now, when you see how tight it's been this year and stuff like that. But last year it was kind of very much a take a game at a time and see where we go. And there was games where we were kind of really struggling. I mean, I remember playing in the rain against the Galaxy one game, and we beat them 2-1, and it was wee Jason Wong who managed to steal home and stuff like that. And it came out of absolutely nowhere. And we won the game, and I remember joking with him in that game, saying, "Oh, you better make sure your whites are dirty, because I want to see you slide today." And it turns out he gets the winning run for a slide and stuff like that. So we took it a game at a time, and said there was some really, really tough tests. Well, I think we're the only team last year to come and take something every time they played it at Tollcross last year. And that, listen, I think it's just that it's a freak season that we had last year, and I'm not taking anything away from the guys. It's just, I think now looking at this year, when you see how close all the standings are, it's just, you can see that there is talent really increasing in the single day.
Big time. We talked training. Like, you can see the standard every week at single A. It's getting better and better and better. Every single week there's guys competing for to play in AAA now. All the time. And like I said, our guys, we had 3 players that played outfield for us all day, and you wouldn't be able to tell they were single A players.
Yeah.
You know, it's a test. Not just our team or any team. It's the whole week in general is getting better and better.
Listen, absolutely. As I said, it's just that I think last year has just been one of those years that everything just clicked and it worked, and we took it game by game and we took wins and we were able to clinch it in Edinburgh and stuff like that. We still have a few games to spare. And, but I mean, I think being so dominant in that single A league now is going to be a very, very hard ask. But no matter who it is, it's coming. Whoever's running the race.
I think the difficulty with the single A is that my belief, and I know this, and I'll link this into a question actually, is that single A for me should always be participation led. So it should be about getting people involved throughout the game. You know, if you've got a bench, if you've got a team of 9 and then you've got 3 in the bench, I want those 3 people in the game at some point, because I want people to participate. And that's where I see the entry point for people in baseball in Scotland. As part of that, what we tried to do this year was really, you know, give opportunity to people, and I think even might have been the first 2 games I asked you to spare some innings for Martin, so to come off the field as captain in order to develop somebody that hadn't at any time there. Was that something? How do you deal with that sort of thing as sort of captain versus as a player? You know, because obviously you want to play. Where's your mind at with sort of great opportunity?
I say I came along to play baseball, and like obviously through other circumstances I couldn't come to training and things like that. And Martin came along and he put in the work and stuff like that, and he got he got those innings and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, it's tough to sit there and not be in your starting 9, starting 10. But see, it kind of gave me a wee bit of probably a wee kick up the backside that I maybe needed, because I probably got a wee bit probably.
But
I complacent that nobody was ever going to come in there and take that from me. And Martin's came in, and Martin's a very, very capable first baseman and stuff like that, and working with him, he constantly improves and stuff like that. So that it probably lit a wee bit of fire in me to try and get back my position, and thankfully I've been able to kind of work myself back into that position kind of the later stages of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is the thing. You're sometimes asking people to make big sacrifices in order to develop a culture where people feel that they're going to get an opportunity to compete when they turn up. And you'll know yourself, as captain, and cultivating culture within is a big sort of responsibility, isn't it? You want to be vocal. You want to give the guys belief in themselves. You want to calm them down when they're on the field and things like that. And I think a testament to that is the fact that Comets now have secured and saw out the league for a second time in successive year. Obviously not the same dramatic, climatic sort of clinching that we had last year, but what stock do you put in that, the first back-to-back championship? How happy are you to see out the league this year?
It's fantastic. It's always great to get trophies and things like that. And this year, I probably kind of, the only thing that we probably all would blame is because real issues this year is the weather. All season, it's absolutely hampered games left, right, and centre. I mean, listen, you're asking somebody, I would play for morning, noon, and night. Danny, I can't believe you're still stripping. I feel like we should have some questionable 70s music here for you at this point, because you must not have many layers left.
Absolutely.
No many.
It's great to get the trophies in, and as I said, it's testament to the guys. We've managed to kind of grind out some results. There was obviously some results that don't look very, very favourable, and obviously it kind of fell very anticlimactic in terms of the last game had to come down to a forfeit, and I would love to have been able to kind of see it out in the field and stuff like that, but sometimes these things are taken out of your hand, and God played a bigger part in this season more than anybody, I think.
Yeah. It's a difficult one, man, but we did try to go out and we did try to play, and it was horrendous, man. It was pretty bad. That was the week I think you had the Cannons that week, a couple of weeks ago, Dash, and we tried to get the single A in, and it was just The rain in Glasgow was just.
Got in touch with me before to say like, go for it, and I'm like, it's nice here. It's all right. It's not too bad. It wasn't great, but it was all right. But yeah, many games this year that have been called off for the rain. I think we talked about it before. It was 4 or 5 at least. I don't think there's ever been as many as that.
No.
But hey,
there was a game earlier in the season, Danny. You'll probably remember it as well. I think I'm sure it was Edinburgh, and we ended up having like a rain delay for about 40 minutes, and we're all huddled underneath gazebos and under trees and stuff like that, trying to get some sort of semblance of heat and dryness. Sort of thing. And
they've been fine.
Aye, he was already talked to. He'll be warm. So.
Be alright, be waterproof, aye.
But
Phee, when it comes to... Sorry, were you going to say something there, man?
No, I'm just going to say, listen, it's great to be champions in that, and like, to say thanks very much to our team, Mookie at the Knights, Brit at the Angels, Tosh at Tayport, and Sweeney at the Galaxy. It's been an absolute pleasure playing this year. It's been brilliant to actually to play against some real talented teams this year. And actually, listen, this year there was no game I could have said that we're going to go there and walk over the top room, because every time you play them once, it's not the same team you're playing 4 weeks down the line or whatever, because they're constantly improving, these teams. And I think next year for us to do a three-peat, it's going to be a real ask for us as a team. And when you see what the talent's kind of emerging across the league.
Yeah.
We don't want one team walking away with it every single year. Like, if you win it for a third time, great, but it's because you've earned it. You know, it's not because there's no other teams to compete against. It's because you've earned it and you played the best baseball all season.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the other teams, I mean, certainly, we obviously see the Galaxy quite a lot and stuff like that, because we train and we have scrimmage games with them and stuff like that, and you're seeing that they are constantly improving. I mean, they've got Roy in the mound now, they've got Scott behind the plate and stuff like that, and it's two positions that have really been strengthened in the Galaxy this year, and they became tougher opponents as the years went on.
It's great to see. Yes.
It's great. I think pitching has came a long way, and I think it will continue to go a long way. There's still such a... I think the single A will continuously evolve, you know, it will, and there'll be new developments in there, because I think we're still tweaking it and thinking about where it goes and what it does. I mean, and on that, Phee, I mean, you are obviously very passionate about single A baseball. The difficulty right now that I think exists with going from single A into triple A is that, you know, you might develop somebody. So, like, let's take Matt, for example. We had Matt Gill, who was in our triple A, one of the best in our single A, one of our best players, who really nailed down second base for us last year, was dependable second baseman, really skilled one of the best second basemen in the league. Now, we get to a point in the Comets where we actually need an extra body, but we need it in right field. So we dip into our single A and we go, well, you know, I'm not going to bring up an outfielder, because typically the corner outfield is where we're developing guys, and our better guys are sort of, not our better guys, but our more experienced guys are manning the infield. So what you get then is you get people that are training in one position and being stuck in the corner outfield or somewhere in the outfield in AAA. Maybe that's just specific to Comets. The difficulty is, what I'm trying to drive at, is that if you go from single A to AAA, there's probably not a guarantee there that you're going to be playing first base. It's probably that you'll be needed elsewhere. So with that consideration, where do you see your pathway in baseball? Do you see yourself holding down single A, or do you see yourself ultimately making that step up?
I mean, everybody kind of wants to be in the best leagues and play against the best players and stuff like this.
Pride of the pinstripes. Pride of the pinstripes.
All right, so it's no more tops, it's just crew neck t-shirts now. Oh, here we go.
I'm going to get this one done, and that'll be an end. You don't need to be distracted. There we go.
God for that.
All right, that's fine. That's the winner. That's the winner there.
I've done that for you, Phee. I just want you to know that whole gag, I've had that in my mind for ages, but I needed the right guest, so that was for you, big man.
Long-term jokes. To go back to like your question, Danny, like, I mean, I really enjoy the position and stuff like that, and I've been quite fortunate to play that position at single A, and I think I would like to try and put my glove up against the best now and try and really hold that down. I know it's a very sought after position and stuff like that in AAA. And I mean, listen, I'll come up and I know I'm the captain down in singly. I know I'm going to be coming up. I'm still going to be a small fish in a big pond. And at the end of the day, I'll just do what I'm told. And if I'm playing right field, I'm playing third base or playing short, whatever. I'll play it and I'll try and play it to the best of my ability. I'm not saying it's going to be a great game, but I'll try and play it to the best of my ability.
Yeah, nice one. That's all you can do, isn't it? Is do that. Looking forward into the postseason, I think here's where I'll sort of jump in. Like the last 2 weeks of the season, the Knights were the best team in the league. Like they generated almost 30 runs off Tayport and off us, the Comets. The Comets end up seeing out the league, but Tayport, of course, you guys are back-to-back cup champions. So you've got these 3 teams that are all sort of, I would place neck and neck, and it's anybody's sort of cup. And it always does come down to anybody's sort of cup come the postseason, so you've still got Galaxy and Angels there. What kind of things are you telling the guys about the postseason, or how do you get the guys prepared for that sort of postseason run in single A?
I think for myself, Danny, I mean, also I kind of lean on you as well on game days and stuff like that and speak to you to kind of see what message you want conveyed to the guys. But ultimately, from my own point of view, it's like take the game as it is, because there's 5 innings or 7 innings, and that's really kind of the real difference here. Anybody can beat anybody, and they've ever seen some real upsets this year and stuff like that as well. So, but it just depends on the day. We could show up and, for example, Bobby could decide that he can't come for whatever reason, and then we don't have a starting pitcher. And then we're depending on like yourself, Matt, and stuff like that to come in and kind of try and generate kind of innings that Bobby eats up himself and stuff like that. Where for various reasons, we don't have our best starting line, or that's the day that everything clicks for whoever we're playing. So I would go in with just the confidence that you can win the game, but always always have it in the back of your head that it's 7 innings, and that's what it is. It's 7 innings. It's just you touched on it earlier on, like you touched on it earlier on, like going in there and just trying to control the things that you can control and trying to get the wins where you can, and try and chip away at your opposing team, whoever it may be in front of you.
Yeah. How many times you heard that, like you can't get a home run every hit? Like it's all about just getting hits, getting on base, 1 run at a time. It doesn't need to be swinging for the fences and tying the game with 1 shot. It just needs to be chipping away.
Yeah.
I think. On you go.
Sorry, no, just to say, no, you're right what you're saying. Like, I watched the Mets last year, who played an absolutely fantastic start of the season, and then just absolutely bottled it as the season went on. But most of their wins were all small ball plays, and it was all singles. They were lucky if they were even hitting the outfielders and stuff like that. And we were generating like a 3-1 win, a 4-1 win, and stuff like that. And we had like 20 odd hits, but the scoreline did not reflect what the scoreline was.
Yeah, I think the playoffs is you just got to turn up and give it your all that one game and that one play, and just see what happens at the end of it, and hope you're the better team.
Oh, absolutely. As I said, I can kind of fulfill myself. I'm probably my own biggest critic. I could have a terrible day. And listen, the Mets could go and get absolutely horsed after the Yankees, and it probably wouldn't bother me too much. I follow the football. I'm a Scotland fan, Celtic fan. Honestly, they could go and get beat, and it wouldn't bother me. It doesn't affect my day. But if I go home on a Sunday and we're taking a loss, I'm absolutely gutted. The missus thinks that I've done a mime that night because I'm no, I barely speak.
Yeah,
because I'm absolutely raging with the world. And, most of the time, I focus it on myself.
We're probably more accountable than we should for a lot of things. And like Gabriel was on it a few weeks ago, and he'd said about just forget about it. On the next one, just forget about it. And he's at that level, and we're playing a bit of fun on the Sunday, and we're taking it home for days and days. I think I bobbled the play. I should have got a nice easy out at first, and I didn't do it. But I think, like you said, I'll be on myself for days and days after making an error, days and days. But the rest of the guys are like, Bash, it's fine, it's all right, it's all right. Anybody else makes a mistake, and I'm telling them, you're fine, we've got you. But when it's me, I'm the worst player in the world. What am I doing here?
But there is times where I've lost it to players and stuff like that, and I think it's just that I think it's more myself. I get out in my own head because I want to win so much and stuff like that, and then I forget that, and I kind of become blinded from it, and I kind of just try and shake it off. But as I said, I'm my own biggest critic, and I kind of, if there's a loss, I kind of put it all back on myself that this is what's happening. But,
yeah.
So see, just to touch on the Gabriel you had on a couple of weeks ago, just to touch on what you said at the start of the show and stuff like that. 4 weeks it's been since you've had him on, and you've scoured the internet, and you've scoured everybody in baseball wanting to speak, and came down to me. Wow, this show is really taking a real nosedive to get to this point.
But up the way, Phee.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know about that.
No, mate, I think
about that.
the fans.
Boys about to get a private jet to match to match, and I'm having to car share to go to the airport.
No, fans said like it was great having on, but we want Phee, and
that was it. Inbox was flooded, mate. The inbox was flooded. I'm going to go through the comments here. I don't think there's much. Martin Walker says, "How do you deal with me, Phee?" How do you deal with Martin Walker? Any insight?
Martin's been an absolute cracking kind of student of the game, to be fair to him. I'm talking here as if I'm Yoda or something like that, but I'm really not. He's came in and he's grabbed the first base position with both hands, and he's wanting to know, and we're constantly talking, and I find myself kind of focusing on him because I know that he wants to play the position, and I kind of look at him and as I said, John wasn't able to be there because of injuries, etc. and stuff like that, and I didn't really there was nobody there kind of really showing me things, and then like Jason was able to show me things, but also because of AAA and single A not crossing over, and that when we had that crazy season that single A played one day and AAA played weren't playing that day, etc. But I've taken to Martin in the sense that he wants to learn it, and I look at him kind of as being myself as such, and I just kind of try and pass on everything that I've learned over the last few years and stuff like that. And he's an absolute gentleman. He's been brilliant. Yeah. He's taken on everything that I've said to him and stuff like that. And there's things that he's maybe mentioned to me that I've maybe not seen, and like he'll say, "Oh, if that hitter kind of pulls a line, maybe go and have a wee look and stuff like that." And then it sits in the back of my mind for when that hitter comes back up. Because he's been on the field for the 3 innings, and I'm maybe coming in for the last 2, so he's also got a better insight from that side of the diamond than what I have.
You know what? I think I love players coming into our club at any level that are keen to learn, no matter if they are better than me, no matter if they're the best player in the club. If you want to learn, I think it's such a valuable, amazing asset to have, rather than somebody coming in like, "I want to teach you how to do this. I want to, this is how you do this properly," and that. And Martin sums that up for me. Martin has came in the door and he's just so keen to learn and take on criticism and take on all sorts of things. And you can talk to him. Some people you'll say, "Oh, I've noticed something in your swinging," will be immediately like, "Aye, but I do that because of this or that or the next thing," and they fight back instead of just saying, "Thanks for observing." So I think just having people like Martin, they just are open to hearing what other people are saying is such a good bit for the culture of our club, man. Is just having people keen to learn.
We talked a bit about tonight at training after practice about like videoing your clips and taking photos of your clips, because in your head you think your swing's looking perfect, but when you actually see it, you think that's not my swing, that's not what I'm doing. You don't see it at the time. You think it's looking great, everything's connected nicely, but other people see it and it looks completely different. It's not the way you think it is. I think it's great to all things like that, to look at your own footage and your own clips and see what you can do different and let other guys see it as well. Like I said, Avon and Chinyan that'll happily look at clips of us, go back and go, this time do that. I'm seeing this differently. I think you should do this differently. I think it's great to have guys like that that'll also listen as well, though. You need to. It's all well and good having guys coming along that are needing to learn and stuff, but they have to be able to listen to what the criticism as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think you're hitting the nail on the head. Like it's great like having folk coming in and stuff like that. And I think certainly from the Comets side of things, Bash, you're saying there yourself, you're speaking to kind of the experienced players and stuff like that who kind of have a wee word with you and say, "Or maybe look at this." And I mean, it's testament. We had the big kind of Latin contingent boys all come in this year, and a few of them have kind of come over and had a few words with you and said, "Right, listen, I think you should do this when you're up at the plate." And because I've played the game for so much longer than yourself, they see things differently from yourself, and they pick up wee moves and things like that maybe see picture does.
Yeah, you not even thought about it before. Like, I mean, the tiny sort of...
Yeah, and like, I mean, as I said, like, to give a shout out to Ian Davidson as well, like, constantly he, like, whenever I come off, he'll say, right, listen, that was good what you done, but I think try this the next time, try and be a wee bit quicker or whatever, or take a step here, take a step there. And listen, it's all valuable. As I said, I'm not saying listen, if I was a phenomenal first baseman, I wouldn't be playing in Tollcross on a Sunday afternoon, that's for sure. I'd probably playing cricket down south. That's probably what would happen.
We're kind of running towards the end now, fellas. Bash, I wonder if you want to wrap up with the question that you ask most guests.
Your death row meal, Phee. You're getting wheeled out for the electric chair. What's your last meal? What are you going to have when you're a starter, a main, and a dessert? What's it going to be, mate?
Listen, Bash, I'm sure you've looked at me and you've probably done a BMI calculation and realised that I actually really like my food. So I think it's...
We all do on this show.
Listen, I'm a big pizza man, and I probably go towards a pizza if I'm being honest. I don't know what to be on it because I think it's just such a versatile meal. I think it would just be give me a pizza and just see what comes out, sort of thing.
What's on the pizza?
What's that?
What's on the pizza then, mate?
Any kind of meat. Sort of such.
Good man.
It would be salami, a bit of andouille, anything like that.
Oh, yeah, yes. Good shout.
Bit of rocket on it and stuff like that. I know I don't like to eat a lot of green vegetables and stuff like that, so I'm probably causing a lot of stuff here on the internet now that folk think I realise I actually eat vegetables.
Love rocket. Rocket is best. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Good man.
It's anything you want to mention or anything we didn't pick up on that you were hoping we would?
Obviously, we've kind of touched on like the single A always being tweaked and stuff like that, and it's certainly something I've always kind of thought about, and I don't know if it'd be something that could ever be looked at. And like obviously, it's tough for us in the single A because we're watching the Caledonia Classic, and there's only 5 teams, and using us as a Comets as an example, this week it's 3 weeks for our last game until we actually pick up a bat again and play an actual game and stuff like that. So, I mean, could there be... I would love to see it. I don't think it's probably possible given our teams are split across single A and triple A, but I would love to see a kind of the bottom of triple A play the top of single A. I think would be a very, very interesting game to see.
Yeah.
That sort of, like almost Scottish football, like, isn't it?
Like promotion relegation sort of thing. I think that'd be, but even if you were to do like just a kind of, it allows the guys that are in single A to kind of see what triple A's also like as well. Because there is guys that there is talented team players who, well, that be whoever's at the bottom. Like, I mean, even ourselves at the Comets, I think. But if you were to put Comets single A against Comets triple A, I think it would be a very, very good game.
So this is one of the things, and I think it will naturally come. Like we probably won't be playing this late into the year. When you think about how the single A started, the first year it sort of started, it was that if you played triple A, you could hit in that lineup as long as you didn't play your natural position. So I could go in and play single A as a shortstop or as a third base, or as a catcher or whatever, you know. And then they said, well, actually, we're going to guys that are triple A, and then you've got guys that are single A, and you've got guys that are kind of in the middle. And right now we're at a place where there are still some people hopping between the leagues. And I think naturally what you get to is you'll get to a point, hopefully, where you can split it and say you're one or the other. You know, we're not having triple A arms pitching in single A. We're not. And they've already done that with catchers. You can't get people triple A catching now. The next natural step is to take guys like myself and like Mookie if he ends up triple A and put them either one side of the fence or the other, either single A or triple A. And I think when you have that, you can probably run in succession these post-seasons where you have a post-season happening at one end of the country for single A and you have triple A happening over here. But because the things are merged now, it's quite difficult. But I think
logistics would be a nightmare.
Yeah,
logistically would be a nightmare to try to do it. But I would love to see something like that, just to kind of allow us to really put yourself up against kind of the AAA teams and see if it could work eventually. But I mean, as I said, logistically, I think it'd be an absolute nightmare. But and as you said there, Danny, this has been something that will constantly be moulded in
Yeah.
the single league. I mean, we've seen like there's been rules and things like that all kind of getting looked at continuously throughout the season and stuff like that. And there's been new things brought in this year that weren't in the years before and things like that. It was games this year, whereas last year it was innings and things like that. So it's got a wee bit. It's certainly something that is going to keep molding, and it's really good to see that it's now becoming its own kind of standpoint now in baseball Scotland, and it's actually getting the credit where credit's due.
I think it is a bit of trial and error with some of it. You know, you're always going to have to change bits and pieces that you maybe think at the start of the season, we'll do it this way and that's going to work. But then, you know, things happen and things come out, oh, we never thought of that. And we revert back to this way.
Absolutely.
I
think just like the rules just being set and then just no, I'm trying to even word this here, but you're putting out a set rule and then there's areas that are kind of grey and stuff like that as you're saying there, Batch, that we're having to they get amended and get reworked and relooked at and stuff like that. And I think you're right what you're saying, it's no as cut and dry as AAA and stuff like that. It is a single A, and we're still trying to work out that your catchers were allowed in, your pitchers were allowed in, you could hit the lineup, you played shoot a different position that wasn't your allocated position in AAA and that. So it is something that is just going to keep kind of moulding until it eventually will become its own entity as such.
Definitely.
Yeah. No, thanks so much for joining us again, Phee. I really appreciate it, mate. Obviously, I'll catch you through the week at training and things like that, but I appreciate you jumping on. And for yourself, Bash, best of luck on Sunday, man. That's an exciting weekend ahead. I've got shopping for my Wayne shoes. That's what I'm doing on Sunday. Like, I'm not playing baseball, so I'd rather be where you are, man. But hopefully you're coming back with some good news for yourself, wearing your cape and your scepter and your crown after a third successive championship. Who knows, man? Like,
it will not be easy, but fingers crossed. We'll see what we can do. But no, Phee, thanks. I really appreciate it.
No, thanks very much for having us, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Cheers, Phee. We'll probably catch up. We'll Bash and I will get together and think about previewing the single A final, hopefully in a couple of weeks. So for the guys watching, certainly tune in for that. If you do want to be in the show, if you've got any suggestions about who you would like to see on the show, then give us a wee shout on Facebook or directly. And of course, like, subscribe, all that goes a long way. So thanks very much and enjoy your night, fellas. All right.
Cheers, guys. Take care.
See you later on.